It's dinner, and it's time for another variation on a popular classic. And this time we're gonna be making pizza. But it's not just any pizza, it's gonna be broccoli crust pizza. Because when you're stuck at home, you have a lot of time to experiment, and we've wanted to try this one for a long time. So let's get it done and see how it goes. What I really love about this recipe as well is it's only 4 ingredients, minus the topping. So the base, all you're gonna need is broccoli, cheese, eggs, and your choice of flour. The easier, the better. Yeah. What you're gonna wanna go ahead and do first is grab your broccoli, and we're gonna chop a little bit of this base off here first because we don't really need that. So we're gonna take it right about here, we're gonna chop it up into a few pieces, and then you're gonna wanna go ahead and stick it into a food processor because what we're gonna wanna do is rice the broccoli. There you go. As you can see, it's nice and chopped up now. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is grab a big bowl and we're gonna throw it in. We're gonna do the same thing with these two. Chop them up, put them in the food processor, rice them, throw them in the bowl. Yeah. The broccoli is riced, and now it's on to the next step. What we're gonna be doing is grating some cheese. So we're using mozzarella, and we're gonna be doing 1 cup. And as you can see, I'm grating a lot of cheese, but what we don't use for the crust, we'll go ahead and use for the topping. So we're making use of everything. So let's go ahead and scoop a cup. We're gonna throw it right into our big bowl. Bam! Cheese is in the bowl. Let's go ahead and crack some eggs. We're gonna be putting 4 into our bowl. With every egg, you gotta go a little higher. You don't have to, but feels good. Eggs are in. Now we're gonna go ahead and add 1/2 cup of flour. We're using cassava because really it's the only thing left in our pantry, but you can feel free to use any flour which works for you. This is looking nice. And optionally, you can add some seasoning. So we're gonna go ahead and add some Italian seasoning, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. I gotta keep symmetrical, so. It's all about aesthetics, even when you're cooking. Yeah. Everything is in, and now it's time to mix. So we're gonna go ahead and use a mixer. You can do it by hand if you want, but that takes quite a bit more time. So I'm just gonna throw in the mixer. We're gonna get it all nice and doughy. So we mix it for about 2 minutes, and that looks good. Now it's time to form it into that classic pizza dough. What we went ahead and did, we grabbed our baking stone, we grabbed some parchment paper because it's a little different than typical pizza dough, it has a tendency to stick a little bit. So we recommend putting some parchment paper down. Now we're gonna go ahead and roll it into that pizza shape, and we're almost there. That's looking real nice. And now it's time to throw it into the oven. So we're gonna be doing 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven. What you really wanna do is look for it. When it begins to turn golden brown, then we're good to go. So let's go ahead and throw it in and start cooking this sucker. It's time to check on our pizza. I slobbered on myself a little bit. I'm just so hungry, you know? So we can see a little bit of that golden brown on top, and that means it's good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out. We're gonna throw our toppings on this thing. Yeah. This is where it gets fun because this is where you're able to get creative. You can basically throw whatever you want on top at this point. We, unfortunately, don't have any tomato sauce, so we're gonna be putting a little bit of barbecue ranch, a little bit of that, then we're gonna throw on some salmon, some sun-dried tomatoes, and finally we're gonna top it again with some more cheese. All our toppings are on the broccoli pizza crust. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is throw it back in our oven, and we're just gonna wait until the cheese melts. It's gonna be a little bit less than 5 minutes, and we're gonna be good to go. Now that depends on the toppings you use. So of course, if you're using raw meat, you're gonna have to cook it longer. But since we're not, we've only got a few minutes left until we can enjoy this thing. 5 minutes are up, let's check on the pizza. That looks pretty good to me, so we're gonna go ahead and pull it out. We're gonna put on a few final little additional toppings, and then it's time for the taste test. Yeah.
That's a good pizza. Yeah.
So, as you can see, this pizza really didn't last long. We're going through it pretty fast because it is really good. Excellent. Hope you enjoy it. is definitely one of our new favorites. Very easy, at only 4 ingredients for the base, and hell yeah, great alternative to pizza. So you can still eat what you want, but just a little variation on it, which is cool because you switch the macros around a little bit. You get some lower carbohydrate, a little bit higher protein. Definitely Buff Dudes approved. Yeah.